Does anyone know what today is? So, today is what's called a portal day. So, portal days are, yes, very nice, Lolo. I love that. Yeah, today's recording is on July 7th, which is 7/7 portal. So portals could be, 1/1, July 1st, 2/2, February 2nd, March 3rd, 3/3. Those are portal days. And I want to name that. And I actually want to read a little bit of a little introduction of the power of a portal day. So, portal days, in the context of astrology and numerology, are specific dates believed to be gateways for heightened spiritual energy, facilitating transformation and new beginnings. These days are thought to open up opportunities for personal growth, healing, and alignment with one's true desires, often coinciding with planetary alignments and numerical patterns. So here's a more detailed breakdown. 1. Energetic intensification. So portal days are believed to bring a surge of energy, making individuals more receptive to emotions and subconscious thoughts. Enhanced intuition, which is perfect for us today. These days are considered ideal for trusting your intuition and making important decisions as perception and processing abilities are heightened. New beginnings and change. Portal days are often associated with new beginnings, change, and opportunities for transformation. Spiritual alignment. Practitioners use these days for spiritual alignment, checking in with their path and purpose, and engaging in practices like meditation, intention setting, and gratitude. Numerology, numerological significance. Each portal day is linked to specific numerical vibrations like 3/3, 5/5, 7/7 that influence the day's energy according to numerology. Potential for release. Portal days can also be a time for releasing past baggage, clearing energy blockages, and letting go of old patterns. Now, individual experience varies, as you guys would know. While portal days are considered generally powerful, the experience can vary from person to person, with some finding them intensely transformative and others experiencing a more subtle shift. So, with those of you who have joined, I would love to know your perception. If you're experiencing or bringing, anything that you would like to touch on or work on or release, or if in this specific portal day, if you're feeling anything or if it's intense or subtle, I would just love to know. For those of you who have just joined, we're talking about the importance of portal days. And today is a portal day. And so it's nice to create. I'm all about, creating a life with intentionality and bringing mindfulness and bringing ritual. And if that could even be, the full moon, the new moon, maybe a portal day, to just bring in a day to bring in some intentions for either release. These are really great days for manifestation. So I would love to see in the comments any input you guys have about this specific day, or even the power of numbers. Today it's the number of 7. What a powerful number. And 7 is really quite a number connected to spiritual awareness. And so, how do you guys look at numbers? How do you perceive, astrology? Any comments? I would love to hear your input in this all. I'm always open for questions as well. This is an open time to talk about anything intuition, anything spiritual, anything about spirituality, waking up. I love talking, waking up to your spirituality. This is the time to awaken. Do you guys know your purpose? Do you know your mission? So I would love to read in the comments what you guys have in mind. Any questions that you guys have? Anything is open. Does anyone celebrate portal days at all? You can write in the chat if you celebrate or honor portal days. I have one close friend, and she was a big reminder of portal days for me, and she creates a full day ceremony for herself, once a month on a portal day. And I just found that, wow, that is special. Not many of us live a life with that much ceremony and intention. So there's also, I'm currently writing. I love to write. And this winter, I actually went to go visit Earth portals. So, portals. I'm actually writing a whole chapter about this in my new book. Traveling. The book is called "Traveling with the Divine," and I was actually really led this winter to visit powerful portal places on the earth. And portals are really these really high energy vortex centers in the world. And I was guided to a few of them this winter, just randomly. This was not planned. Anytime I make plans in my life, they don't work. This is my year of deep surrender and trust, and I'm constantly being reminded of that. And so this year I was guided to the Taj Mahal, the portals at the entrance of the Taj Mahal. So me and my twin sister stood at the portal, and we felt the energy there. We were guided to dip in the Mother Ganga, the Ganges River, which is a very sacred river, an extremely powerful portal, earth portal. Life, my flights were canceled and changed and rearranged. So I had one night at the sacred Egyptian pyramids, and it was during Ramadan. So there was no one there, and I got to see the pyramids again, but with the moon lit the pyramids. So there was no artificial light. I was able to feel the energy of the pyramids just for one night, which was extremely powerful earth portal. And I went to the Himalayas, and wow, it was just, what other portal did I see? It was just really, really profound. So I'm writing about portals now, and I'm conscious of more the numerology of portals and how special some days are. Sometimes the energy just opens, and sometimes on earth, the energy opens. And I want to be able to savor that energy, to be able to manifest more and more. So, Neil, thank you so much for joining, and I love your input here. You say, I'm intrigued but a little bit skeptical. Doesn't the meaning depend on the emphasis we place on it? How to say it? Definitely something in its own right. Yeah, well, say more about this, Neil. Of course, we can be skeptical about everything in life. And really, it's a choice. I was doing an interview with a woman yesterday, actually, for my podcast, and she's a medium. And I'm like, well, how do you explain to people who don't believe in this? And she's like, well, you need some level of belief and faith. And we're not here to, or she and nor I am here to force any beliefs down anyone. I just want to be able to bring up concepts and go, hey, have you thought of this? Do you know about this? Does anyone have questions about this? So I just like to, also share and teach through storytelling. So that's all I have is my own experience. And if I can just share my experiences and how I feel, or, what my maybe friends do, then it's just another way of looking at the world differently, perceiving things differently, reframing things, right? So anything really in life we can be skeptical about. And I just choose to live in the wonder and the magic because my life is so much more fun and enjoyable that way. I really love to step in the wonder and magic of life, um, and to live in the faith of it all instead of being skeptical, which is fine in itself. Um, but it's all a choice in life, and we all can choose how we want to perceive things. So there's also, Neil, two different concepts of intuition. Today's talk is all about intuition, waking up to your intuition. And there's even two different schools of thought about this. One, and I was just speaking to someone the other day about that. And he was this man, beautiful energy, and he's very sensitive to feeling other people and all the things, and he believes in his intuition. Yet, his school of thought is very different than my own. He does not believe in a soul. He does not believe in afterlife. He does not believe in a higher power. Yet, he's still quite connected to himself and feelings and intuition. So I find this very intriguing. I said, what is intuition for you? And for him, this particular person, which is one school of thought, is all of the past memories, cellular memories, all of our past experiences just from this lifetime, because he doesn't believe in past lifetimes, come to the surface when you need, and you can assess a situation or you can assess a person. I find that a lot of judgment, because you're just bringing up memories from the past and judging what you see in the future without even seeing reality as it is. But that's his belief of intuition, and that's his truth. And for me, I'm much more into spirituality. And so my school of thought is that our intuition is our connection to our higher selves. And our higher selves are, just even like I'm reading this book right now, Change Your Aura, Change Your Life. And they actually say your higher self is about 24 inches above you. So it's not connected to that human dynamics and issues and worries and fears that may be stuck in our aura, but it's actually above, connected to the highest universal consciousness and energy. And it's just this pure light and pure help that can really help us on our journey on earth. And I want as much help as I can get. I love help, and I'm open to help all the time. So for me, with my belief system and my way of connecting to my intuition is connecting to my higher self, which has direct connection to universal knowledge, consciousness. And that's where I can receive answers to any questions. And again, we as humans have free will. So we may receive guidance all the time. We may be receiving guidance all the time, but we do have the ability to cut that off, or to not listen, or to choose our own path. And that's okay. It may create a little bit more stress, disharmony, maybe unhappiness in your life. And for me, all I want is to live a life of peace and joy and grace. And so I'm constantly choosing to listen to my higher self and ask questions to my higher self to have a life of the most joy and peace that I can. I have a huge value for clarity. I love clarity. And the more I trust my intuition, the more clear my path is and my next steps. And for me, intuition is just such gentle little whispers, but I listen so intently and closely. I was just at a mantra meditation kirtan chanting last night. And when I'm chanting in this meditative place, I can really get out of my mental construct and go really deep into my intuition. And can I ask myself questions in that place and really receive these divine answers for the next steps or where I'm meant to go or what I'm meant to do. And even if my physical human self may not always want those things, I trust my intuition so much that it's like, okay, this is the message I got. It's positive. It's to help people and help the world. It's not anything based on ego and self-centeredness. It's like, okay, but it takes effort in the human form to take steps to what my soul wants for me. But I really do listen. I really do listen, and life becomes much more magical. And I surrender. The deepest word is surrender and trust to the wisdom and the knowledge of my higher self. Like, what do you want? What are my next steps? What does my soul want from me? What does my soul want me to know today? And really listening to those messages. So this is a time that you are open to asking any questions, any comments for today. I'm open to really anything that you guys want to talk about. Lola was saying that the energy seems thick and oppressive the last week or so, hoping it lightens up. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you're tapping into some collective energy. Maybe it's for your own life. I don't know, but this is a great day, Lolo, to release it all, to really release it all. Yeah. So, are there any specific questions or comments or anything about intuition anyone would like to? I'm going to see all the guests here. So nice to see you guys. So fun. Wow. Australia, United Kingdom, New York, Massachusetts, San Diego, Egypt. Unbelievable. Kansas City, Sweden. So amazing. I just love how worldly this is. I just love that so much. So, yeah, I'm open to Abram, namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Yeah, any questions or comments? I'm here for the time that you guys want. Any questions or comments about intuition, any curiosities about spirituality? I can share any of my insights. Maybe a story will come through. I don't know. Joel from New York. Amazing, Joel. It's always fun. Like, what brought you? There's amazing teachers there's amazing teachers on. Like, what drew you into this one today? Is there some question? Yeah. Great. I love this. So we'll start by some general questions. Joel says, how do I tap into my intuition? Amazing. Yeah, that's a huge question. I have whole courses on that. I write about it in my books. There's programs about that. How do you tap? That's a big question. Well, first, it's really first understanding what clair you receive your intuition. There's different clairs. So, there's the clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, meaning you may see a vision. You may receive intuitive guidance in your dream world For me, I call myself clairaudient. I hear a message, but it's different from my voice. It's a very neutral internal message. There's clairsentience, clear feeling, clear cognizance, which is clear knowing. You just know. There can be clear tasting. You can have a taste in your mouth, clear smelling. So, first, Joel, it's very important to be comfortable and confident in the way you receive intuition. Now, I can receive intuition in many different ways. And sometimes, if I'm very open and receptive, if I'm walking in nature, I'll receive clairaudient messages because my intuition is very open. What I've noticed about me is when I'm very close minded to something and my conscious mind does not want something, my intuition comes through the dream world through clairvoyance. I see a scene, I experience something in my dream world that my ego and my personality is not open to. This is why I moved to where I moved to. I did not want to move here, but my soul wanted me to move to where it is today, and it came through in the dream world enough times because I wasn't listening. This was 20 years ago. Enough times that I finally listened. But it's just important to be confident in the way you receive intuition. Now, I have a twin sister, and she receives intuition very differently than me. And I just love giving that as an example because, like, we're all unique and individual, and there's not one way that's better than another. It's just about being confident in the way you receive it, which is the most important. So, I invite you to, there's even these online premium courses that you can join. One is called Reconnect to Your Intuition. I invite you guys all to look into that. I have a chapter in my book, Intuitive Business Connections. You can really get an outline of each clair and what they are, and you'll identify with one of them as being your strong point. So then you'll have more confidence and know. And it takes time. It takes time to build that confidence. But once you have enough experiences in trusting the little things, like, then you'll be able to trust your intuition for the bigger things. But start really slow. Like, just asking, guide me to the easiest parking spot, or guide me to who I need to talk to today, or who I need to call, or whatever, little things. And once you have enough or positive affirmations and experiences, then you will start to build and trust that inner compass more and more for bigger decisions. So Bonnie says, I have kept my intuition before, but lately I feel like I've just been running from thing to thing and not taking time to tap in. What are some small ways daily that you can do this to tap in? Yeah. Yeah. So great question. Yeah, daily contact. Well, a huge thing is meditation. Everyone says that, and really, meditate. A prayer is making a request to source or spirit or God or whatever you believe. But meditation is a chance for you to listen to those messages. So it is important. And a meditation means doing nothing. You're not meditation. Yes, you can be in a mindful state if you're washing dishes or in a shower, really whatever. But really what you're asking is how to tap in daily. It could be a 5-minute meditation, sitting and asking a question. And then you give that chance and this opportunity to listen and hear the guidance, right? Oh, there's lots of hearts. Doesn't have to be long. For me, I love to go on daily walks in nature. So being connected to nature, this is where I'll be walking mindfully and I'll receive some divine guidance on what to do, even book titles or whatever. Some things will just come through. That's important as well. But another thing, what I've started actually doing to really go deep into some intuitive depths is journaling, and this idea of the automatic writing. And it doesn't have to be long. It really can be quite quick. So I do this in the morning. I like to read in the morning, but then I will like channel like 1 or 2 pages, and it takes like literally 10 minutes. It's really, I'm surprised by how quick it is. It's like, I don't have time to write, but really, like 10 minutes in your day, and you can ask your intuition. I like going to, hey, soul, what do you want me to know right now? But you can ask intuition, what do you want me to know right now? And just let yourself write. And whatever comes through, whatever ideas you have, let it come through. Don't stop yourself. Don't second guess. No judgment. Just write and just write. And then one day you can look back and go, wow, like that was really cool. Or who knows what will come through. But this is a really like simple things, 10-minute meditation or 10-minute automatic writing, or even just a quick walk to be out in nature. There's so much healing energy in nature. And yeah, and our lives can be very, very busy, as you know. Yes. Oh my gosh. You say, thank you. I have a toddler now, so my quiet time has been much less. Morning pages was a wonderful practice. Thanks for the reminders. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I cannot imagine having a toddler in my home. I can't imagine that. But um, I don't know. It's sometimes I don't know what time your toddler wakes up in the morning, but the morning is so precious. And so I personally, I'm not a night person, and I love to go to bed early. I imagine your toddler goes to bed early. And to be able to go to bed as early as you can so you'll naturally wake up. People are like, I can't wake up early. Yeah, because they go to bed late. But if you can create a new habit in your life where you can first like make sure you shut off, let's say 8 or 9 o'clock, you shut off all your phones, devices, really create a sacred ritual for sleep. We can talk about that after. And even right before bed, writing, maybe before bed, that could help, maybe writing 10 minutes. But then waking up, and the first thing you do, before you get out of bed, and it could be early, maybe you're up at 5, maybe your toddler wakes up at 6, but then that means you can wake up at 5 and have 1 hour to yourself. I tend to be a really miserable person if my cup is depleted. So I can be very loving and giving. I hold wellness retreats at my home, and I need to continually maintain my energy levels so I can be of service. I'm not of service to anyone when I'm irritable and resentful and exhausted, and I have to really create big boundaries for myself because people want more and more and more and more. And I'm even having people at my retreats, I'm transmuting their energy and helping them process really powerful, deep things and healing. And so when I don't respect my boundaries, I become extremely depleted. I've gotten sick before. Sometimes I lose my voice because I haven't been able to express what I needed to express. The body is very sensitive. And so your practice for anyone in the home that you live in is of utmost importance. And to start to prioritize yourself first, so then you'll be able to love and give all this extra energy. The energy will just overflow from you. So, but this takes a lot of discipline and a lot of boundaries, and some small, daily habit changes in your habit pattern. Small things, instead of maybe going to bed at 10 or 11, you go to bed at 9, and you'll naturally wake up earlier to be able to do some self-care. So I'm really big on that. Yeah, self-care. The slower my life is, the more joy I have. I'm not good or balanced when my life is chaotic and busy. And I just want peace, and I want to bring peace where I go. So I need to make sure that my life remains peaceful. One thing I brought up, if no one has any questions, is the sacred ritual of sleep. I was reading this recently, and how in the dream world, we can really process and heal any issues, wounds, lessons. Sometimes you may visit people in your dream world that you don't see in real life, and you can process and heal whatever relationships you need or anything. And there's like 1/3 of our life that we don't really prioritize. A lot of people who come to my retreats have a lot of insomnia, they don't have good sleep habits. And that can really affect your whole day. I'm a completely different person if I've had a really good sleep or a really poor sleep. And so I don't know why, as a society, we're not really prioritizing the ritual and the sacredness of sleep. And again, everything can be with intention. And so when you go to bed, before going to bed, let's say, Bonnie, exhausted day, I'm sure you're just managing life, you can really create an intention. You can set an intention from your dream world. I would like to heal this. I would like to process this. I would like to feel this. Whatever. My dream world is so busy and active. And then I wake up and it's like, oh, I'm glad I'm awake, because my day-to-day life is so much more peaceful and calm. Then I'm like traveling the world and doing so many things in my dream world. Um, and and I just find it really, really a neat opportunity to, we don't always necessarily need to go to a therapist. We can process a lot of healing just by relaxing our bodies and sleeping, but with creating an intention. So I've really started to do that more, and reminding people of this, of there is a sacred ritual to sleep. It restores the body, mind, and spirit. And to protect that, even the bedroom. I've had guests who are like, I don't sleep. I'm like, well, tell me about your life. They're like, well, I drank 5 coffees in the morning. And they're like, but they're like, I stop at noon. Okay, good. Okay, 5 coffees is a lot. I love coffee, but 5 is, I think, a lot. They're like, I stop at noon. Okay, great. Good. You stop at noon. Then what? What do you do in the afternoon? They go, well, I drink Coke all afternoon. And they think this is normal. And I'm like, this is alarming that this is normal for them. And then they have this big screen TV in their bedroom, and in the middle of the night, they can't sleep. So they wake up and they turn on the TV. And it's like, they don't understand why they have insomnia. And I was like, wow, that's so fascinating to me. Like, for me, there's no TV in my home, there's no phone in my room. Um, there is no coffee or Coke in the afternoon. It's like I really, I think, prioritize these healthy habits that other people may not see value to. Um, but I would really encourage you guys to create a sacred ritual for going to bed, for before sleep. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is great, Leslie. You saying hi from Ontario. You discovered a magnesium spray under the feet before bed. Oh, say more. How does this help? How does this help? Joel says, I suffered tremendously from, I don't know what that is. I don't understand any acronyms. You need to explain everything. Your biggest challenge is sleep. I've tried everything. I can't sleep restfully. Yeah, explain exactly, Joel, if you want. My only way back to sleep is a cup of coffee and relax a bit, and then I fall asleep again. A few such cycles each night. Okay, trauma. You've experienced trauma. And the magnesium relaxes the muscles, you believe. Okay, so you've experienced, okay, PTSD. Yeah. I don't understand the C. PTSD. I don't know what C means. That's new for me. It's interesting how you have a cup of coffee and relax a bit. What about a cup of, I don't know, chamomile or something? A cup of warm. For me, I love, like, I just drink hot water all day. People are always like, hot water, and I love it. It's so comforting. It feels so relaxing on the intestines. But I don't necessarily put anything inside. But yeah, coffee is quite a stimulant. And some people, I've had guests who are like, they're like, oh, I drink coffee before bed. It doesn't change anything for me. I go, okay. And then I'm like, but can you sleep in the middle of the night? They're like, oh no, I'm up all night. But they don't, I just like, well, I don't think coffee, I think coffee would affect someone. Like, if you sleep perfectly all night, okay, have coffee. That's fine. It doesn't affect you. But I have guests who come and they're like, oh, I've tried not coffee and I'm still up all night. Yeah, well, how long have you tried it? Like, wait, I don't know, a few months or something. But it's interesting. Your cup of coffee to relax a bit. What's wrong with some caffeine-free teas, Joel? Oh, it's complex. Wow. Wow, Joel. Yeah. Yeah. So tell, if you want, your story is so interesting, Joel. Do you have these flashbacks at night in your, do things come up in your dream world? Have you ever asked your higher self to heal some of this in your dream world? Because there can be profound healing. I really believe, like, this is 1/3 of your life, asleep, unconscious, processing things. Have you ever asked your higher self to heal and process some of these traumas? I do this. I don't have big traumas in my life. I have little traumas, and I'm always asking to heal those during my dream world, so I can wake up a little bit more refreshed, a little bit lighter, happier. Yeah, your dreams are chaotic. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I have crazy, crazy chaotic dreams too. Some nights I'm traveling around the whole world, around tons of people. I wake up exhausted from my dreams. Do you ever wake up tired, just completely exhausted from your dreams, Joel? I'm curious about that. Because what I read is that if you wake up tired from dreams, you are, um, mm, yeah. So, yeah, what I read is if you wake up exhausted from your dream world, it's because you've been processing a lot. So you could be processing really a lot in your dream world too. And you're saying that you suffer from anxiety all day, but at night it has no filter, meaning you have extra anxiety in your dream world or at night. Because I tend to be opposite. I used to have a level of anxiety all day, and then at night I would rest and I would have a break from my anxiety. But for you, does anxiety come up more during your dreams or during the night? It's also, as I'm thinking and talking about this, it's also, I think, important that we can ask ourselves, meaning asking our intuition or our higher selves what we need. What do we need? A lot of times things come out in our dream worlds that are repressed. And it's like we can just ask ourselves, what do we need right now? And then being able to give it to ourselves. So really getting, yeah. Yeah, I keep traumatizing myself in my dreams. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm not a specialist in trauma. I'm not a specialist in dreams. It's just from my my personal research that I'm talking about this, what makes me come to mind is because for me the dreams is the subconscious coming up. And what else can we do to bring ourselves into the subconscious mind is hypnosis. Have you ever worked with the hypnotherapist, Joel, for any of your PTSD and seen if some of those things can be released? And how is that? Okay. So Brooke is talking about a specific tea that helps you sleep. That's sweet. Yeah, any help. Any you guys, the collective here can help bring input. So right now I'm bringing up the concept of hypnosis to really consciously work on the subconscious. Has that ever helped you at all, Joel? Okay, yeah, Brooke, you're saying yeah, it's a natural route. Yeah, wonderful. Mhm. Yeah, I really like yeah, more of the natural healing ways. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Oh, we're sending so much love to you, Joel. Yeah. We're saying you're in a toxic relationship, so nothing is going to help me anyways. And then hypnosis didn't reach that deep. Fascinating. So your dream world reaches you deeper than hypnosis can. Is that what you're saying, Joel? Because this would be such an interesting concept. Also with hypnosis, you're actually saying something quite interesting because with hypnosis, deep enough to heal, you meant. This is quite interesting because with hypnosis, they say, because I have very close friends or hypnotherapists, and with hypnosis, anything that's too much, you can just wake up. You're just like, oh, I don't want to do this. You can wake up. Whereas sleep, do you know in sleep, like I've slept through some crazy loud noises, some crazy things. I sleep and sometimes I don't wake up to those noises and things. So I think there is a real deep depth, a huge depth to sleep that yeah, that's quite fascinating. But yeah, so maybe you can heal through your dream world if hypnosis isn't deep enough for you. But bring intention. You know, I'm also a huge believer in support from our guides and from source and from whatever you believe in. I think we're very supported. Even our higher selves, it's our best friend. It just wants the best for us, but it is not allowed to interfere. We have divine free will, and it is not allowed to interfere. So we have to consciously ask for help. And again, before bed, you can consciously ask your higher self, I need help in this, or I want to heal this trauma, or I need clarity on this relationship. Oh, nice. And you also, oh, you couldn't get hypnotized. Interesting, Joel. And you said you have a therapist for Freudian interpretations in dreams. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. But also, if you have a dream, ask yourself. You don't necessarily need to go to the therapist to go, what does this mean? You have your own inner wisdom. And so you can ask, like, sometimes this animal can show up in the dream, but that animal may have a very different representation for you than it does for me. So it's important to ask, like, what does that animal mean to me? And just learn, Joel, to start asking yourselves questions. You have all this wisdom. Even you know how to heal yourself from anything. I believe we can heal from any physical, mental, spiritual ailments. Yeah, you're stubborn and not listening. This is what comes up in your psychedelic journeys too. Yeah, well, that's conscious. That's conscious. You'll be stubborn until one day you won't be, and then you'll be open. You'll be like, okay, I'm ready to heal now. But trusting that journey for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I would get into the habit of asking yourselves, um, really asking yourselves interpretations of the meanings of things. Yeah. What else did I want to talk about? Yeah, your toxic relationship. That's interesting. I'm in a toxic relationship. And so, what is keeping you in that toxic relationship? Because you're defining it as toxic. What makes it toxic? This is a really quite a fascinating concept. Like, how do you define toxic relationships, and why are you choosing to stay in a toxic relationship? For anyone listening, all of the people here joined in, I'm really open to reading your comments and seeing what you have to say about that. Because you're just bringing up a really cool theme today, Joel. So I would love to delve deeper into that theme. I've learned this recently, actually, because I tend to really idolize some relationships, maybe like, oh, they are so perfect on paper, perfect, exactly what I wanted to manifest. But when I'm with those people, I feel extremely unappreciated, not valued, not seen, not cared for. And it's like, okay, the person can be perfect on paper, but I don't care about that anymore. I want to go, how do I feel in that relationship with that person? Um, and so now it's really about feeling. I want to feel valued and seen and encouraged. And when I'm having a bad day, for that person to be there and support and lift me up, not push me down. So I don't really care about all of this other amazing attributes this person has. I really valued spirituality, but it's like, what is spirituality? For me, my friends are reminding me that spirituality is the qualities in a person. Does a person have compassion and love and patience and consistency and really these beautiful qualities? I really have to reframe that is spirituality, not someone who calls themselves spiritual or knows a lot of spiritual terms. I used to value that, but I'm valuing that less and less currently because I want to be with someone who has really beautiful qualities. I think that's more important for myself. Yeah. Yeah, Joel. Yeah. Yeah. I love your vulnerable shares. Yes, the conversation is good. You're bringing great topics today, and thank you for your vulnerability. This is a beautiful, safe place to share. Yeah, you're saying, yeah, you're choosing to stay in this toxic relationship because of the volcano it will cause to your kids and family. Yeah, yeah, and just being conscious of that choice. We all make choices, and yeah, you choosing to stay in this time with this relationship until you won't. It's like your stubbornness. You'll choose to stay in this stubbornness until one day you'll be like, it's enough, right? Uh, Shravan, do you have any questions at all? I love to hear questions or comments or inputs, whatever you think about this. Is anyone else relating to Joel having a hard time getting out of any toxic relationship? This is quite a common situation and circumstance for people right now. Anyone else? How not to get into toxic relationships? Yeah, that's a even better question. And how do you guys know? Yeah, good topic. Exactly. This is a great topic. Yeah, Debbie says, I certainly was in one. I think we've all been in toxic relationships. This is a normal thing. Uh, I'm overgeneralizing, but it's rare to meet people who've never experienced a toxic relationship. And this is a journey I'm on too now. And what for me, how to, to answer your question, how to not get into one, for me, it's diving deeper and deeper and deeper into self love. And the more I love myself, which is, everyone says that, but really, it really is. The more I love myself, I've reached this level of, okay, this is how I now treat myself. And if there's someone, even a friend, a lover, whoever, if that person doesn't meet me here or bring me higher, then there's no reason that I keep them in my life. I can send love to them, but I don't. I'm very protective of my energy now. And I want people to lift me up and help me and support me, friends or partners. And so it's like when I was younger, I didn't love myself very much. And so I would accept boundaries being crossed or people who didn't respect me. I would accept that as my reality. But literally, the more I'm alone and the more I just cherish and love my energy, I'm so happy alone that if there's someone who comes into my energy and I feel less than or lower in vibration, it's so apparent for me now. And it's like, oh, this isn't nice. I don't want this. And I wish them well and I say, okay, this is we can't be in each other's journey in life at this moment anymore. Maybe we will reunite later in the future. I don't know. But it's like I now know what it feels like to be good and at peace and loving towards myself. So if someone's not able to match that, I consciously uh, don't want them in my life anymore. And not out of negativity. It's just like I'm very selective with who I have in my life. And again, things that used to maybe turn me on, and now the more I love myself, these are extreme turnoffs. And so I'm like, oh great, it's not my inner child trying to work out our trauma, or I don't need that toxic bond. It's just such a divine, like, oh, that wouldn't serve me very well. That would not feel good in a relationship like that. And I just lovingly go, that's not the best for me. And so in the future, I'll only welcome and really be drawn and attracted to energies and people who will support me, on my path. But that's just me and my journey. I can't wait to read everyone. Everyone's writing so much about this. Yeah. So Brooke says, if someone brings out the worst in me or I don't feel comfortable being myself, I run. Amazing. Exactly. Yeah, to be fully seen and comfortable. This is a big thing, a level of safety. This is what I want to feel, a level of safety to show up however I am in that day. If I'm having a bad day, if that person I come home to shames me for having a bad day, um, I have like since cut someone out of my life because he was not able to give me grace and kindness when I needed support the most that day. And it's like, okay, if I can give myself loving kindness more than he can, then I prefer to be alone and not have him in my life. So that was there's some hearts there. Yeah. Yeah. Debbie says, yeah, tip, don't get pregnant if you have any doubts about your partner. Yeah. So yeah, I love this. Natamara says, absolutely. Healing yourself and getting through the trauma in yourself will allow you to deflect the toxicity others project. Yeah. How you get into any toxic and came out of it. Yeah, you're great questions. Yeah. Well, back in the day, I was attracted to toxic partners, for example. So, um, yeah, I would be attracted to it. And so I'd be like, okay, maybe someone who doesn't believe in commitment or monogamy, or I'd be like, oh, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm not jealous. I'm really cool. And then I was attracted to that. And now, as I'm really honoring myself and my personality and my level of loyalty, and I want a deep, devoted, conscious, committed relationship, that no longer attracts me. That would be a huge turnoff. Whereas a couple years ago, it was like, it didn't bother me at all. So becoming more and more in alignment with who I am and what I want. I, like, um, what are other things that used to really turn me on that turn me off now? Again, the idea of spirituality. It was spiritual man who has all these spiritual concepts. That used to be a huge turn on. And now it's like, well, that doesn't. If he has zero emotional maturity or capacity to be there for me emotionally, well, then that's not a relationship. Like, how can I be in a relationship with anyone like that? So I don't care about these titles anymore. I care more about the qualities and how I feel in that relationship. Yeah, it's a learned experience for sure. For sure. In life, it's all we do. Uh, so yeah, we're just on earth, I think, just to learn and grow. We just want these new experiences. So it's like, oh, I want that experience. And then I lived that experience and it was like, well, that wasn't fulfilling and that didn't serve me. And that brought me down. Like, often I start a relationship really high and feeling and good about myself and my goddess energy. And then by the end of the relationship, my last one, I felt like a piece of garbage. It was like, okay, that wasn't good. So I have to build myself up again to be in this beautiful energy where I can attract a more compatible partner. And so it's just like, okay, I did that. Not going to do that again. And then, I chose this person perfect on the list, but I didn't feel good in that relationship. So I'm just constantly learning and growing. And that's all. We don't really know how we're going to feel until we experience it. So it's about, Debbie was saying, oh, yeah, like, you didn't follow your own tip. Yeah. About getting pregnant. It's like, well, we don't have to be hard experience and doing the best we can. And it's going like, okay, I learned that lesson. I'm not going to do that again. Now, Debbie, you're so much more wiser, and you're just like, oh, if I have any doubt in someone, I probably shouldn't have a child with them, right? But maybe you didn't know that, decades ago. Yeah, and Brooke says, um, yes, this is why I stay single. It would be nice to meet a sweet soul, though. Hard to find when it's meant to be. Yeah. What do you mean when you say it's hard to find? Because there's many sweet souls. There's 100 people on here right now, and I imagine all of you are brilliantly sweet souls. So there are sweet souls around us all the time. I don't know any abbreviations. I don't know what any abbreviations mean. You guys have to really spell. I value clarity. I have a high value for clarity. Oh, in real life. Oh, thanks, Brooke. Okay, but Brooke, this is real life. We are in real life right now. This is a moment in your day, and it's about reframing. Brooke, I used to be like, had this idea. Oh, I'm not attracted to anyone, right? And then I'm not attracted to anyone. And then one day I reframed that, and I was like, there are so many beautiful people everywhere. And literally, I was in the airport when I had this epiphany, and I was walking around, and all I saw was like gorgeous men and stunning women. And really, it's where we put our attention. It's easy to say, but I invite you, Brooke, to practice this in real life. Beautiful, kind souls. They are there. Yeah. Oh, I love you guys are adding a lot of things now. So Stephanie says, I have ignored my intuition about codependent relationship for a time. But when I recognized that was my trauma response and ego, I ended it 2 months later, he has chosen to wake up and do his own healing work. Yes. Yeah. Stephanie, I love that. Yeah. I was listening to this beautiful YouTube channel yesterday, and it was saying that it was a channeler, and she was saying, which I really resonated with, that my energy, for example, maybe your energy, but I'm feeling inspired to share this. So the people who are listening, our energy doesn't necessarily have to demand healing from another human, but it inspires them to heal and grow. So, if for me specifically, holding boundaries, like I do not want to be treated that way. I don't need you in my life. I'm not telling them to change. It's just like, sorry, this doesn't serve. This isn't helpful on my journey at all. Then the people will leave, or they'll either be inspired to level up and grow, to be able to, I don't know, be in harmony with me in this life. I don't know. Yes, precisely. So yeah, just by us loving ourselves again, like one of the missions on earth, people are like, what are my mission? What's my mission? Well, to live in joy, I believe, and to learn to love ourselves, which will take a lifetime. And we're constantly in these circumstances and situations just to have an experience, and to deepen our love for ourselves, which can be complicated and a challenge, as you probably all know. Um, Neil says, we are very conditioned to look at defects in others, perhaps. When we see the good in others and our vision changes, then that helps. Exactly, Neil. Yeah, it's really what you look at expands for everything. I look at the world like everything's a miracle, and I'm receiving miracles every day and beautiful synchronicities every day. Other people, they maybe are blind to all of that, and they don't see those things, or the healing lessons behind some people's actions. Um, so it's just exactly like, even Brooke, oh, people are so busy and I can't meet kind people, or people are fake. This is one prescription that you've chosen to look at. It doesn't mean it's truth. This is what you have chosen to look through the lens of your vision. And that's not bad. It's just, I want you guys to understand everything is a choice. So everyone lives in different realities. Some people are living in hell, some people are living in heaven, in the same city, for example. So it really is how we decide to look at things. Thanks, Brooke. I loved the little flower. Aw, you guys are sweet. Thank you, JD. Good talks around. JD, wise one. Thank you. Well, yeah, I'm trying to channel as much wisdom as I can. I was interviewing a medium yesterday, and she goes, in past lives, we were killed at the stake for sharing our wisdom. And she goes, you probably were too. And I'm like, yeah, I felt like I was. And in this lifetime, we don't do this anymore. I will not be killed at the stake for sharing some wisdom that I've acquired in this lifetime. It's not just this lifetime. I feel like I've lived hundreds of lives. So I'm sharing wisdom from all the lessons, not just, the years I've lived on this earth now. But yeah, but even in my retreats, I remember one woman, she goes, at the end of the retreat, she goes, I feel like my spiritual like prescription has changed. I look at everything differently. So nothing in her world has changed, yet everything in her world has changed. And so I would invite you guys, look with different eyes. When there's someone I come from the teachings of the Vipassana meditation, and it's all about loving kindness and compassion. And when there's someone who causes harm to another, sure, we can have compassion for the victim. Of course, that's unnecessary. We can send love to the victim. But in the Vipassana tradition, it says, send more love to the person who inflicted that pain because they're in so much suffering. To cause harm to another human, intentionally or unintentionally, one needs to be in great suffering. If you're joyful in love and peace, you won't want to hurt another naturally. So send more love to the person who is hurting another because they don't know what they're doing. You know, they're ignorant, they're in pain, and they need love too. So yeah. Stephanie says the defects can be mirrors for ourselves as well. His lack of self-worth showed me where I needed to deepen my own self-love and boundaries. Exactly, Stephanie. Yeah. The last couple of relationships I was in, they didn't I don't feel like they valued me and what I brought to their world and into their life to the level that I wanted to be valued. And I've reframed that these last couple of relationships to, they were simply mirrors to show me I need to value myself. And the more I value myself, the more I will have that mirrored back to me. But on some deep subconscious level, I didn't see my own value. So I was attracted to or drew in people who didn't see my value in their life either. And I have to take responsibility for that. You know, we're not, I really, um, I'm quite impatient with victim mentality because I'm really about radical self responsibility. Everything, it's like, just be conscious of I choose this toxic relationship. I choose to stay in this toxic relationship. I choose where I live, where I work, what I eat, everything. We have free will, and to not play a victim to our circumstances. You know, everyone has choice to get up and go and do what they need. Yes, it's terrifying for sure, but just at least give yourself credit for knowing that you have the power to actually choose in this life what you want to do, who you want to be around. Yeah. Yeah. So Natamara says, I had an ex who laughed at me when I told him I was going on my spiritual journey. That was my sign. Yeah. Well, I laugh. You know, I get that, but I laugh at people. Sometimes I was talking to someone yesterday, beautiful soul, like beautiful energy. Everyone loves this human. And he's an earth angel in my life. We had a really deep conversation just the other night, and he goes, Oh, I don't believe in souls. And I couldn't help but laugh. It was just like, wow, I wasn't wanting to laugh at him. It was just a laughter of like, wow, like I don't even know why I was laughing. And there was zero meanness to it. It was just so shocking to me because I rarely meet people who don't believe that we don't even have a soul. My reality is in spirituality, so I'm around people who are very spiritual. Um, and and so yeah, I hear that. It's important to be with people who may support you, but also we're very like we create stories. We create a lot of stories in life about stuff. So he laughed, and I don't know what story you created about that, about your partner. And in a lot of my coaching, my one-to-one coaching, I help people with authentic relating, radical honesty, sentence stems. And one of the sentence stems I have to teach almost everyone is like, the story I've created about you or this situation is blank. And then, is it true? So, I don't know what story you created about your ex on going on a spiritual journey, and then you can, but it's important to at least validate and see if that judgment and that story was accurate. Because like I laugh, I love to laugh. but it's not, there's no ill will behind it. It just is it was a reaction that came. It was just, I just laughed, So I don't know. I don't know. And someone could take offense to my laughter, or they could laugh with me. It's a choice too. But I don't know what that meant for you. What was the sign? What was that sign for you? You know? Someone could perceive it one way and others can perceive it another. That's the thing in life. We all can have different situations, but we can react very different. We can react to very different, circumstances. So it was so nice. If you guys don't have any more questions, then I can sign off. Okay. Or trust he was laughing at me because it involved me being celibate, which was going to be a loss for him. We are still good friends. Yeah, there we go. There's some more context. Yeah. Okay, so for you, a spiritual journey is is being celibate. Yeah. 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 Well, it's so nice to be with you guys today. I never know when my next live will be. I'll be off for a month, resourcing, reconnecting to meditation and my family and filling up my cup. But I invite you all to follow me. Follow me, and I have a few premium courses. You can check out my profile and my website and see all the offerings I offer. Oh, thanks, Brooke. Nice to meet you, JD. Thank you for being here. Well, thank you guys for being here. You guys chose to use this precious time to come together and talk about intuition and spirituality, and that's something so precious for me. So thank you guys so much for your presence, and I really look forward to seeing you all next time. Bye for now.